Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's official. We have a fuel run-out date in the United Kingdom, sort of. So first of all, nobody can really tell when the fuel is going to run out in the United Kingdom. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys my best analysis, hashtag Raven Maths, to let you guys out. I'll back this up with I'll back this excuse me. I'll back this up with recent articles that are on the mainstream. Also, this Clapham crisis. Now, the more I look into this, the more wild it is. And I'm just going to say it from the get-go, ladies and gentlemen. It's black people. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying all black people are criminals and feral thieves. What I'm saying is, from the images that I've seen of this Clapham carnage, Clapham chaos, I'm just saying it, guys. You know, if it was white people running around, I would say, yeah, that's white people. If it was Chinese people, I'd say it's Chinese people. It's predominantly black and brown people. I don't know how much more people can turn a blind eye and pretend that this is not happening, guys. This is happening in real time. You've got white Europeans who are the most fantastic civilized people in the entire world, the most innovative, the most intelligent, who literally created everything. And because of that, we're very polite, we're very welcoming, and we're very tolerant. We're just seeing this in Clapham, guys. We're just seeing this in Clapham. I can't not say what I'm seeing, guys. All right. And if you guys have watched the images as well, watch the footage on X. I've shared it before, but I'll share a couple of those videos again. It's literally black people. All right. So I'd love to hear from anyone who's on the chat who's black, who can say, oh, listen, you know what? The real problem, the reason those black people were acting like that, it's because of white privilege. Because white people, I just want to hear the excuse, guys. I do. I want to hear the excuse how black people looting in Clapham is white people's fault. I just want to go with that. Right, so where do we start with, guys? Where do we start? Oh, yeah, April Lee is saying Clapham and Birmingham it happened. Yeah, so I've got both areas covered. I have, guys. I've got both areas covered. I have. I'll come on to that second. Now, fuel run-out date, guys. Fuel run-out dates for the United Kingdom. Now, there are various articles on the mainstream media at the moment. So rather than give you guys a monologue, I will just give you the facts and the figures that I have found from a little bit of research today. So obviously, we all know that the ongoing war in the Middle East is going to be over in 2 weeks. It's going to be over in 2 weeks, guys. Don't worry, everybody. It's going to be over in 2 weeks. That's all. 2 weeks, and it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. No, hang on. What did I just say? 2 weeks to flatten the curve. 2 weeks to destroy the regime. That's the new one, isn't it? 2 weeks to destroy the regime. So we all know the current situation in the United Kingdom is not good. I would speculate right now, and obviously, anecdotally, we are having fuel shortages in the United Kingdom. I've already seen a few people in the chat saying where I live, there's no fuel, and that's true. I said this was coming a long time ago. So the ongoing war between the United States and Israel and Iran has led to an effective closure of this Strait of Hormuz, 20% of the world's oil, yada, yada, yada. I've talked about that. I've talked about that forever. As a direct result, you might want to sit down, ladies and gentlemen. You might want to sit down because we've got the exact dates. We have, well, you know what? We may have the exact dates, or these dates may not even come. So, as a direct result, the final tankers loaded with Middle Eastern crude oil, diesel, and jet fuel before the blockade took place are now in their final journeys. Industry analysts from Argus Media, Kepler, and Vortexa expect these last shipments the last shipments to arrive in the United Kingdom and Europe between the 5th and the 15th of April 2026. And then that's it. That's it. Deliver the date. That's it. No more shipments coming in, guys. No more shipments coming in after that date. Do with this information what you will, guys. Do with this information what you will. A notable example is the tanker Yassahawk, which loaded jet fuel in the Red Sea, Saudi Arabia, and has been diverted towards the UK. I'll come on to that in a second. It is expected to dock in the coming days and is considered the last shipment of jet fuel into the United Kingdom. I don't know why red alerts are not sounding all over the country right now. Guys, if you're watching this right now, pay attention, right? Imagine, just try and imagine right now, there's no petrol. Just imagine that. Forget the electricity, forget the gas. Just imagine right now, there's no petrol, no diesel, all of them gone. Imagine that. What would you want to do? This is what I always do when I'm trying to do, my own strategic planning, because I do it. And I guess I feel not lucky. Most of my adult life, I've lived like this. Never in the United Kingdom. Never did I think I would ever be living like this in the United Kingdom, where I'm giving serious thought to building to raising an army in Cleethorpes. That's where I'm going, guys. Because listen, just as a quick outside the box thing, right? If we manage to take control of Cleethorpes, build it as a stronghold, I'm pretty convinced we can get weapons and international aid into Cleethorpes through Grimsby Docks at scale, because everything's at scale. What we're dealing with at the United Kingdom, it's not just a couple of gangbangers. This is a full-scale operation now, guys. So, just going back to Yassahawk. So, when I was looking into this last shipment of when I was looking at this last shipment of jet fuel into the United Kingdom, I realized that they were using this word diverted. So this oil tanker's being diverted to the United Kingdom. So that says to me, that word diverted says that the United Kingdom, and look, guys, I don't know what contracts were written with who, just that one word, diverted. That to me says, if it's diverted to the United Kingdom, that to me says that it wasn't coming to the United Kingdom originally, right? So why would you divert jet fuel to the United Kingdom? I'll tell you why, guys, because they get a better price. Yep, they get a better price. I've worked in the oil and gas industry. And what shipping tankers, oil tankers do is they will come to a country and they'll just wait. They will wait for the price of oil to go up, and then they will agree the price and go in on that price. So if when they set off the oil tankers, the price of oil fluctuates. So now give that more context to Donald Trump's speeches. So while we may have our last shipments may come between the 5th and the 15th of April, equally, they may not come. Another country may buy them. That's where we are, guys. Okay, that's capitalism for you, unfortunately. Now, why this matters? Honestly, I'm not even gonna. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to mention it now, and then I'm going to try not to mention it. So, we are heading towards this conflict in Europe against the Russians, right? I'm going to try and keep that on its own pedestal for maybe tomorrow or something. So the United Kingdom and Europe have become, over the years, dependent on Middle Eastern oil supplies for refined products such as jet fuel, kerosene, and diesel. Around 50% of Europe's jet fuel imports and 20% of its diesel imports usually come via routes that would be affected by the Strait of Hormuz. Jet fuel so far has been hit the hardest. Prices have more than doubled in some cases, leading to flight cancellations and higher fares. I did a video on this earlier. Ryanair, I think it was Ryanair. Somebody fact check me, please. I think it was Ryanair that have cancelled all flights to and from the United Kingdom. You see, these not smaller companies, these low-cost companies that operate with a very small margin, and they make their profit by math. When something as critical as fuel for your aircraft goes up 30-40%, you can't pass that price on to your customers, because you'll be operating at a loss. You've been operating at a loss, and there's no way to recoup that money. Diesel has also been hit. I saw a picture earlier. Somebody posted a picture earlier, and it was £1.88 per litre. Again, guys, look, if you're watching my channel, I don't say things because it's inflammatory and it's wild. I say things because it's true and it happens, right? And it happens. And I'm going to say this again. Guys, this will calm your anxiety, right? This will calm your anxiety. When it comes to diesel, nobody should expect diesel to level out any lower than £2.50 a litre. That's where it is, guys. Petrol will be lower, obviously. But as far as diesel is concerned, please, just don't expect diesel to be any lower than £2.50. In fact, you know what? Psychologically, right? Do this instead, right? Change that round a little bit, okay? Pretend that diesel should be £2.50, right? Just pretend that now. Try and budget. If you guys use diesel, all right, try and budget everything from now on that diesel is £2.50, right? And all the time it's below £2.50, think, wait, I'm saving money. I'm saving money, because that's where it's going, guys. That's where it's going. I told you this months ago. I told you this. Diesel, obviously, for you guys, it's critical for haulage, farming, manufacturing, food distribution, taxis, buses, critical infrastructure. So I know what you're saying. I can almost hear your brains. I'm feeling your energy, and I'm feeling it, team. Sean, what happens after these last tankers arrive? Well, I'll let you guys know. So, and it's not good. So once these final, so the reason these tankers are arriving is because these tankers were preloaded and they'd already set off, because it takes that long to get around. They'd already set off and they were already loaded, so they were on their way. So once these pre-blockade cargoes dock, like I said, expected the very latest mid-April, the immediate pipeline from the Gulf finishes. That's it, guys, finishes. Because there ain't no more coming. No more coming. That's it. It's over. Yes, I said that. The government in the United Kingdom, however, in their defense, are saying there is currently a plentiful supply. Fuck off! There's a plentiful supply of diesel and petrol all over the country. It's just there's shortages of petrol and diesel all over the country. Which one is it? You can't have both. Like, you can't have the government coming out and saying there's a plentiful supply, and when people are saying, hang on a minute, I've just been to 3 garages, they're all empty. However, the government are saying there's a plentiful supply in storage and that there is no realistic risk of running out of fuel in the United Kingdom. Yet we're already running out of fuel. That's what they're saying, the government, right? They point to emergency stockpiles held under emergency energy rules or whatever it is, and efforts to source replacements from the United States, potentially West Africa, Nigeria, and other European refineries. Guys, look, when everybody's fighting for fuel, it's going to be in short supply, right? Supply and demand. This is not just a problem in the United Kingdom. This is a global problem. So when everybody around the world is trying to get fuel, those places in Nigeria, those places in the east coast of America, or, you know, anywhere in America, I guess, other European refineries, I don't know where they're talking about there. I'm just going to pretend that I'm just going to say other European refineries and just pretend that whoever wrote this, whoever said that on, I think it was Telegraph, doesn't know what they're talking about. However, industry experts, which is what you guys need to listen to, remember, you know, how many times have we heard political leaders pretend they know what they're talking about, and then industry experts are like, no, that's not the case. Oh, this is it. I've done this 30 years. That's not going to happen because you don't have the storage facility. What? Oh, but this piece of international law. Oh, I ripped it. This piece of international law says you must do that. Yeah, I know that piece of paper says that, Kia, but physically, we ain't got no shit. So if I ain't got no shit, you ain't getting no shit. And if you're getting shit, it's going to be at a drastically increased price. That's how we roll. Yes, but this law. Yeah, I don't care what your piece of paper says, mate. You got guns to come and back it up? No? Well, even if you have got guns, we ain't got no diesel, so that's on you. Industry experts and analysts, me included, are being a little bit more cautious, right? Stocks will drop and are dropping to cause localized shortages. That's happening now, guys. Localized shortages. You guys on the chat are putting this, right? Replacing the lost volumes in emergency fuel is proving difficult and expensive. Tanker routes are being rerouted. Insurance costs have rocketed. Alternate suppliers cannot make up the difference. This situation remains and will remain highly volatile for the next 3 years. Tanker destinations can change at the last minute, guys, depending on price, politics, and procedure. That's just the reality, right? If you're an oil tanker, right? You're Captain Nemo, right? Captain Nemo, he's done. He's done with, what is it, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Captain Nemo, he's like, you know what? I've had enough with this. I'm gonna sail an oil tanker. I'm gonna get me some sweet cash. So Captain Nemo and his band of, it's like that, Captain. Captain Nemo and his band of merry men. Are we beyond the 7 seas? Are we going to England? Let's go to England and give him our plunder. I think he was from the West Country. Captain Nemo's on his way to the United Kingdom, and his oil tankers, you know, they've said, right, we're gonna give you guys that for this price. I don't know, 10 million quid or whatever. 10 million quid. We got 10 million. We got 10 million pounds in the back of this here vessel. We'll be taking Moby Dick. So Captain Nemo is moving up, and the French say, "Hotty, hotty, ho! I will give you 15 million for your diesel supply." And then Captain Nemo's like, "Har! An extra 5 million for Captain Nemo and his mates. Har! He's going to go to France, right? That's how it works. That's literally how it works, guys. Let's not pretend that that can't happen. Nobody cares about contracts anymore. Nobody cares about default. Right, Captain Nemo, this is your last ever shipment from the Middle East. What, so there's no more coming? No, you can either honour that contract and go to the United Kingdom, or you can tell them to diddly swizzle, tick-tock, decoy, divide, Dospedania, and go to France and get an extra 5 million. I'd be taking the extra 5 million. Yeah, but you're going to really annoy Keir Starmer and David Lammy. Can they give me an extra 6 million? No. Then I'd be going to France. That's what's happening. Now, obviously, the ripple effect. The ripple effect is hard, it's wide, and it's vast. I keep saying this all the time. For like months, I've been telling people and warning people about diesel. Higher transport costs for lorries equals more expensive food and goods right? That's what best case. That's the best case, right? Higher pressure on manufacturing and that supply chain, because those manufacturers, they need to get their stuff and they need to send it to their people, right? And if they can't afford to send it to their people, they have to. So, you know, farming. What do tractors use? Do they use like solar power, soybeans? They use diesel, right? They use diesel. People who've got home heating oil. Airlines are already starting to buckle, guys. Airlines are already starting to buckle. Now, I'm going to give you guys government position, which is swizzle, and then industry warnings. Always go with the industry warnings, guys. Like the people who are in industry, they know the industry because they're in it, right? And they are, you know, it's what they do, right? So the UK government has been trying to reassure people in the United Kingdom. They're saying they're monitoring the supplies closely. What does that even mean? Like, honestly, what does that even mean? We're watching these supplies closely. Yeah, can you get more supplies? No, but we're monitoring them going down. There's absolutely nothing we can do, but we are monitoring this situation closely. It means nothing, right? Those words are empty. They're extending the fuel duty cut and providing targeted support, such as 53 million for heating oil users. The emphasis, they emphasize on diversity of supply and contingency planning. I think this is I think the best thing that the government in the United Kingdom right now can do is nothing. And I know that's going to be brutal for some people. I just don't think people should be bailed out. You know, I don't think people should be bailed out. I think the situation is critical. If we start bailing people out, we're at the beginning of this crisis right now. Very soon, the war in Ukraine is going to flare up again, potentially this weekend, maybe even in the next couple of hours. And when that happens, we can't just keep bailing people out. We can't just keep giving people money. We don't have enough money, guys, to keep giving people money. So unfortunately, people are going to have to deal with things themselves. And I think that's a good thing. Honestly, I think I used to take my lawnmower to get serviced, right? I did it. It used to cost like, it was ridiculous. It was like 400 quid every year to get my lawnmower serviced. I stopped doing it. I said, I'm not paying for this anymore. It's ridiculous. I service it myself now. I learned myself how to service that lawnmower. So not only have I learned the skills to service my own lawnmower, I can service other people's lawnmower. And I'm not reliant, and I can cut my grass anytime I want now, because if something goes wrong, I've literally taken everything off my lawnmower. I've reworked it. I've sharpened the blades, the belts, and I could probably rebuild a lawnmower now, a ride-on lawnmower from the ground up. If somebody was to come out and say, "Hey, Sean, there's a new support package for people with ride-on lawnmowers," I wouldn't learn that sufficiency, right? And I right now, where we're heading, government financial assistance, I think, is the worst thing that they could do. Worst thing. And that's I know a few of you guys on the chat have oil heating. Holistically, obviously, if if you guys have got oil heating, you're gonna be like, yeah, I want the free money. And of course, everybody's gonna be the same. Nobody's gonna turn down free money. However, industry voices are more concerned, warning that without a swift reopening of the Strait of Hormuz or a resolution to the conflict, real physical pressure will emerge within weeks. Yeah, within weeks, guys. Okay. Now, these energy bosses, they also know that even if things go back to normal now, even if things go back to normal right now, it's still going to take years. So in short, as a little nutshell, I've not even started my opening monologue today, guys. In short, the next 2 to 3 weeks, or up until the what did we say? Up until the 15th, if it comes at all, right? If it comes at all, when these tankers are expected to arrive, they represent the final shipment of Middle Eastern fuel into the United Kingdom. This is going to test everyone. Everyone, guys. This is going to test everyone. Now, nobody's talking about this. Why? Don't know. I do know, actually. Well, I can speculate. The reason nobody's talking about this, except from you guys know I give you the information before it comes out. I tell you things before it's even cool, right? Very soon, everybody's going to be talking about Narva in northeastern Estonia. Everybody's going to be like, Narva People's Republic, Russian hybrid war, Narva, Estonia. Remember when I was talking about the Strait of Hormuz and Karg Island and everything? Oh, God, what does that even mean? Yeah, it's kind of relevant now. So what I'm getting at, guys, is everybody right now should be doing two things. First of all, make a contingency plan that there's no fuel. Just make a contingency plan. Imagine, and how to make a contingency plan, right? Just imagine right now, like in your current situation where you are exactly right now, imagine that there's no more fuel at the petrol station, petrol and diesel just gone. Within a couple of days, your local supermarkets are going to have run out of food because guess what? They're not getting any shipments either. How are you going to deal with that? How are you going to deal with that right now with what fuel you've got in your tank, what food you've got in your cupboards, and what water, I guess, you've got in bottles? I don't think water's going to be. Well, I think water may or may not be a problem at some point, but let's not worry about that now. And then what you should plan for, while there is fuel, you should accept, if you guys have got a diesel engine, just try and accept that diesel is going to be at least £2.50 a litre. It's already £1.88 in some places. Do you remember when I said, yeah, guys, listen, don't expect diesel to be any less than £2.50? And people are like, that's not going to happen, Sean. No, it won't happen then. That won't happen. Yeah, it's at 288 already, and I don't even know what it is at the on the motorway services, right? That's where we are. That is literally where we are, guys. Right. I'm going to jump onto the chat, and then I will go on to I'll jump onto the chat. I'll talk about what's been happening in Clapham, because we all love what's been happening in Clapham, don't we? There's been some wild things happening in Clapham, guys. Wild things happening in Clapham. And then I will give you guys a Middle East update. Lewis Ackers is saying supply caches are a good idea, people. Spend a day driving around, hiding positions in bug out locations. Have at least 5 minimum. Oh, that's okay. Lisa Jane is saying planting seeds and growing vegetables. Yeah, I think, like, look, if you can do nothing, just plant some seeds and grow your own vegetables. We can join the kids looting the shops. Well, I think if you're black, you can join that. I don't know if it's like if white people are allowed. Russian nuclear missile forces undergo drills in Siberia. Sean, it's time to accept nuclear weapons can be used and can be used and not won't be used. I'm still going to stick. Okay, I'm still going to stick with what I said, right? I don't think nuclear weapons are ever going to be used. And until I actually see a nuclear test on a missile, that means they've put the weapon, like the mushroom kaboomer, on a missile and test fired it together. Until I see that, because of the engineering that has to go into it, purely on an engineering basis, I'm still going to stick with what I've said. I may be wrong. Shadow Bank hit with 4 billion redemption as financial fear grows. Yeah, everybody's in financial fear. Children as young as 12 buying and selling knives and weapons via the internet. And ISIS called on Muslims to set fire to churches and synagogues around the world on Easter. Right, let me find this. And it's very, I did a video on this earlier. So the king is not doing an Easter speech this year. Okay, 2 hours ago, guys, there are multiple outlets reporting on this. ISIS calls. Right, I'm not going to share this because there's loads of ads. This is from an article from the Express, released at 6:31, and I'll just read you guys this headline. And for context to this headline, this comes as King Charles isn't doing an Easter speech this year. So I think he did a Ramadan one, didn't he? He did a Ramadan one, didn't do a Christian, whatever. I'm sure he's got his reasons, whatever. ISIS calls on Muslims to set fire to churches and synagogues around the world on Easter. The terror group issued a horrific threat on Thursday. ISIS has called on Muslims to set fire to churches and synagogues around the world this Easter. The group's propaganda reportedly calls for attacks in the US, Europe, United Arab Emirates, Syria, Tunisia, and Morocco during the Easter holidays in response to the closure of the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. In the latest edition of its Al-Nabiyya newspaper, the terror network also reportedly called for attacks during the Jewish holiday of Passover, which began yesterday and ends on Thursday. The shocking warning comes after Israel closed the Al-Aqsa Mosque late February, with authorities extending the closure till mid-April. Right, okay, so yeah, it's just more carnage and chaos, more calamities. There's basic pattern recognition here. Basic pattern recognition. Right, I'm literally just jumping to the bottom, guys. So I'll get the last comments. Van der Gain is saying Wingnut Windsor is a Muslim. How was it? Donny. Dobunny Warrior, hello Dobunny, saying Charles should be deported to Pakistan. I don't know what that's in reference to, obviously. King Charles choosing to be the defender of all faiths effectively makes him diminisher of the faith. Hertzman West is saying on Palm Sunday, Jesus entered Jerusalem and crowds of people greeted him with praise, honoring him as a king. Now they call me a king. Can you believe it, Trump? Deamery Gen X is saying that airline isn't Ryanair, Sean. It's called Skybus that's cancelled. Okay, sorry, Skybus. Sorry, Skybus. That news headline is misleading. Okay, sorry. Thank you for fact checking me, Deamery. Listen, guys, when I do these live streams, I always try and get as much information out as I can. So if I'm saying things wrong, please fact check me. And thank you for doing that. So what I said previously about Ryanair, it's not Ryanair, it's Skybus. Right, now, I'm going to jump onto something which is a little bit darker. Oh, I've missed. Right, is it that one? Oh, I've totally messed up here. Hang on. Right, let me try and search for this again. All right, I got it. Right, okay. So, excuse me. There's a few things that have been happening around the United Kingdom. The first thing I'm going to share with you guys is this. So there's a Birmingham. These things have been happening all over. London and Birmingham seem to be the places where mass looting happens at scale. And I'll show you a video of this mass looting in a minute, but I'm going to share with you guys this video first. So this is what's happened in Birmingham, right? So because this shop kept getting looted, Londis in Birmingham, because it kept getting looted, people kept going in and just taking what they wanted. What they've done is they've put vending machines in now, and they don't have any staff. Now, they're not pointing to the root cause of this problem. And I'll show you guys the root cause of the problem in a second, but let's just watch this. And this looks like this looks like the beginning of 15-minute cities, right?
Staff have been replaced by vending machines in this Birmingham shop due to the amount of thieves targeting the store.
Thieves! British thieves! White European British thieves! That's the only thing I can assume it is.
City centre Londis in the ICC previously closed for months last year due to shoplifters, and it's now reopened with a selection of vending machines offering cold drinks, snacks and coffee. This machine-focused move is part of a trial which is hoping to sell the same products as the original store, but without the thieving.
So they're claiming that this is, well, it is clearly to stop the thieving, but there's basic pattern recognition we can do here. So that's what, so in Birmingham, this looting's happening, right? I'm going to share with you guys another video now. I know I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it again and give more context. So this is said looting in Clapham in London. Now, I'm just going to throw it out there. Everyone I can see is black. Everyone I can see there is black. So literally everyone. So where's the problem here? Now, obviously, you know, I know that everybody's equal. I do. I know that everybody's equal. And I know the real problem is white privilege. I do. I know the real problem here is white privilege. So I know that there must be white people here that are really causing this problem. Somehow, you know, somehow. And look, guys, I'm being totally respectful here. I'm saying exactly what I'm seeing, right? I'm saying exactly what I'm seeing there. That is, I can't see any white people there. I can't. I just, sorry. If anybody negative, all I'm saying is what I'm seeing right now. So I think we need to have a serious conversation, right? Have serious conversations about putting concrete walls around some cities, right? Putting concrete walls around some cities. Right, I've got another video to share as well. Hang on, I've got some more. Now, with the utmost respect to everyone, that looks to me like, I mean, how do so many people get on the streets for one? I don't know what the pretext to this is. I'm told it's something like, it's called a link up or something, where they do these things online and they have these things. I think they're called link ups, where children of the communities go and do a link up at McDonald's. Now, a link up would be everybody storms in and takes what they want, hoods up and runs off. It's a link up, right? It's a cultural link up. I would call that mass theft, but anyway, I'm not going to call that mass theft because that would be rude. What I am going to say is that is predominantly black people, and I would love to speak one-to-one with people from that community, that black community, and just say, listen, mate, what is this? Why is there no white people there? Like, do you, like, you know, there's no diversity there, is there? Where's all the white people? You know, why are the white people why are white people underrepresented in looting? Does that mean we have to bring white people in and give them a free hand at looting? John, Melissa, Kevin, come here, mate. Yeah. You get a free loot. What? Yeah, you get a free loot. We haven't got enough diversity in our looting gang. All right, what does that mean? Well, you get to choose between a TV, a laptop, or 3 smartwatches. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, don't worry. We'll bring you in. Do your bit and then go, and then we'll do the hard work. We'll do the real looting. You guys just get the free stuff and go home. I can't not see this, guys. And I'm being 100% respectful. And I think black people need to take a real look at this and think, is this how you want to live? Is this, like, where does the future go? Where does the future go? Is this what you want? Is this winning? Is this winning? Now, the final thing I'm going to say about this, and I've said it a few times, I don't think these things are going to get less. They're going to get more. Now, you guys can imagine we are, like I said previously, we are in the United Kingdom. We are going to get our final fuel shipment from the Middle East between the 5th and the 15th of this month. So, like, if it comes at all, right? Now, like I've always said, from day dot, guys, I've always said this: diesel will be taken off the shelves. I've always said that. I'm not jumping on any bandwagon now because there's diesel shortages. I'm not jumping on a bandwagon thinking, oh, well, maybe diesel. No, I've been saying this for years because that's what happens. So let's give this scenario now. There's one of these link ups. There's a link up in, I don't know, Blue Water in Ashford. Is it in Ashford, Blue Water? The shop, I think it's in wherever, doesn't matter. Meadowhall or Metro Centre in Gateshead or the Arndale Centre in Manchester, whatever. Let's just say there's a link up, right? And it's a big link up. It's a big link up. Not a very diverse link up, but it's a big link up. And those people on that link up know that the police don't have any diesel to come out. And they know that the police will count this as theft. And the police can't come out and deal with theft because guess what? They don't have any diesel. Or they do come out and deal with this theft, use their diesel, and then there's a mass incident with the long things that are made of metal, and the police don't have any diesel to go out then. That's where we are right now, guys. That's where we are right now. Then those shops that get robbed, if it is a supermarket or whatever, if it is like a shopping centre, those shops that are getting robbed, they go bust, their staff are unemployed, and it just ruined it. Everything's ruined. Why? I could point my finger. It's obviously white privilege that's the problem, right? It's white privilege. White privilege and the patriarchy. That's the problem, guys. That's the problem. White privilege and the patriarchy. Right. I'll jump onto the chat and then I will. I've not even given up. And am I still streaming? I don't even know if I'm still streaming. Guys, am I still streaming? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. The chat's gone totally blank. I can't see anything on the chat. Should I like emote? Maybe I should emote or something. Maybe I should emote. Right. Okay. The chat's just come back, guys. The chat was totally blank. I didn't know what was happening. The chat's all back. Right. Let me. Okay. Somebody just sent a super. Lewis Ackers is just saying for shizzles and gizzers, love you all. Lewis Ackers is saying sending some love for everyone. He's sharing the love, Lewis Ackers. Right, I'm just gonna get these comments now, guys, on the chat. Robert, sorry, is saying, funny, isn't it? Now Putin is banning exports of fuel. Yeah, they need it for their military-industrial complex. Andy is saying, well, during the riots, certain riots, Black Lives Matter riots, that gay professor said the whites are turning black, and we all knew what he meant. I don't know. I have no idea what that means. Kids broke up from school. Single mums, 60% are at work, so they play up. Thornbury Morriston link up. Oh, so more is that in Wales? That's in South Wales, right? Is that in South Wales? I think right, so you're all saying you have a link up in a petrol station. To be honest, no longer matters who owned the something ships. We are here now. What is the next step? You're absolutely right. If we don't start looking after our stuff, we ain't going to have nothing. If you have a high trust society, you naturally have a low crime society. Those things come hand in hand. You don't have high crime and high trust. That's ridiculous, right? You have high crime and low trust. Here in the United Kingdom, we used to be a high trust, low crime society. Since importing the third world, and I'm going to say it, we have flipped on that. We've flipped on a sixpence. Santi Todd is saying diesel vehicles will come down in price. They will indeed. They will indeed come down. Silly Gallardi is saying Hertz. I'm always honest, and that's just not true. Oh, what did they say? I know you. Oh no, what's happening? What's happening in the chat? I know you don't like Jewish people. It's not rare. It's just factually true. By the way, there is still today slavery in right. What are we talking about? What's going on here about the? I don't know what's going on there in the chat. Roberts is saying, it breaks my heart when I look back at the 70s to 90s. When I got brought up, it was so beautiful. We never locked our doors. Petty shoplifting is not a crime. I agree, petty shoplifting is not a crime. What I would say, right, and I accept, no, actually, petty shoplifting is a crime. What am I even talking about? I don't agree with you, David King. All shoplifting is a crime. Like, right, okay, if you're a shop owner, right, and somebody comes in and steals a Mars bar, is that still a crime or is not a crime? Like, is it a crime or is it not a crime to steal a Mars bar? All shoplifting's a crime. I'm not even good. I don't know where we're going with that. Are ski masks illegal in the United Kingdom? No, they're not illegal. It's just only a certain amount of people wear them. Right, I'm literally just going to jump to the bottom, guys, because there's loads of comments. What are you on about, Sean? I don't think, guys. I think what you're saying there is, earlier on I said that petty shoplifting isn't a crime, and I just went with it, and I was like, no, all shoplifting's a crime. Roberts is saying we all have to unite and fight like our ancestors and soldiers who gave us our lovely life. Yeah. The only generation I see with a chance of doing that is like Gen Alpha or Gen Z? Gen Z. They're the only ones who I see doing that. Hertzman West is saying, Hand of Miriam, 5 fingers of the... I don't know what that means, guys. Oh, right, okay. Guys, I struggle with biblical scripture, so I don't know, like, Torah scripture either. That's it. Sending the Cleethorpes Embassy ambassador into the chat. Lord of Langwis is saying any aliens inbound just to top everything off. Yeah. Earlier on I did a UFO UAP update, and the main, like, a couple of the things that have come out, one of the biggest ones for me is they're saying now that there's some sort of, like, let me try and find the video. Hang on, give me a second. Let me find the video. Is it this one? Right. I'll share this with you guys now. This is the video I tried to share. Right, guys, I'm gonna jump onto aliens and then I'll jump back and give a war update because I know I've not done a war update yet. So this is one of the wild things I found on the internet. You guys tell me what you think about this.
Classified just need to be out in the public. I mean, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race.
Okay. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm throwing my BS meter is going off the chart right now. Okay, let's let this video play.
That could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that.
Non-human biologics, interracial alien?
It's not interracial, is it? It's like, what is it? Interracial. It's like, I don't know, intergalactic breeding.
Mating? What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Can you please unpack that?
I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army, came into my office in Crestview, Florida.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Guys. Go and check that video out yourself. Now, this is the latest, right? And I don't know where I go with this. Do I believe what he's saying? Absolutely not. I am like, okay. Do I believe what he's saying? No, I don't believe it's true. Could it be true? Yes, of course it could be true. Now, my spider senses get going anytime somebody says to me, a uniformed officer, a member of like uniform, a serving military came in uniform. Okay, let everybody into a little secret, right? That sort of stuff, if it was military that was dealing with it, I can guarantee that's not conventional forces, right? That is special forces at the very minimum. You can go higher tiers. Like maybe tier 0 special forces or something. I can guarantee with 100% certainty that special forces guys don't wear military uniform. So straight away, when this is going, my spider senses are going. But then I'm thinking, okay, so why is he actually saying that? What does he actually mean when he says, a serving high-ranking US military guy came and briefed me, what did he say about, what was it, a classified program, gave him locations where humans were breeding with aliens. I'm just like, oh God. I mean, there's so many things I'm calling BS to this. However, it may be true. I may be wrong. It may be true. Why is he saying that? Why is he coming out and saying that? And what is the backstory to that? What is the backstory to it? Did a guy in military uniform really go out to see him and just lie to him and say, listen, hey man, I'm a US Special Gold Star Colonel. We got these breeding facilities. What? I honestly, if somebody told me that, I would say, give over, you lunatic. Show me evidence. I think a lot of people get the wool pulled over their eyes too easily. Anyway, that's my little UAP update, guys. I did a video earlier on about UAPs. Bandagain is saying the US president did a deal with them, swap some humans for tech advancements. But then where's this technology? But then where's this technology, guys? Where is it, this technology? I get it, you know, I get it. Some people say that, like, this, you know, where I think it was Reagan or maybe before Reagan. There was some sort of deal after the Second World War where the grey aliens came in and did a deal with the United States, and they could, like, harvest cows and take a few people here and there. And in return, there was high-end technology. Where's the high-end technology? Because there isn't any, you know. And I just, like, I can hear all these things, but where is it all? Sean, share your Sean, share your thoughts on the space launch to the moon. I watched you reacting to it live. It was hilarious. I'm a space geek, guys. I am. I'm an absolute space geek. I think I was born 200 years early or 200 years too late. I feel that European culture is expansion and it's making new stuff. So my thoughts on it was it was a good launch. It was a good launch. I don't, you know, they're all alive. Nothing blew up, and it went ahead. There's, you know, there's all these conspiracy theories coming out, and like, oh, you know, and they've got this, you know, and they've got this, like, they're putting these videos on, right? And it's and like the caption on these videos is like, once you notice, you can't unnotice. And they've got the launch going up, and then it zooms in, and there's this dark music. I'm like, notice what? Like, there's nothing to notice. So, like, what I'll say is, like, all the people that were there, all the news agencies, all the international, literally all the Americans that were there that turned up to watch it, like, was it some CGI footage for them as well? I think it was, you know, I think it was a good launch. Right, I'm jumping to the bottom again. Clarendon is saying it's fake, Sean. It's fake. Right, how did they fake it? How did they fake it, guys? How did they fake it? Yeah, this is wild, guys. So, right, I've not even given you guys a Middle East update yet, have I? Right, okay. So your Wi-Fi router. So it's constantly giving out signals, right? And that signal gets a return, right? That signal gets a return. Wi-Fi. I think it's Li-Fi actually. It might be Li-Fi, or Wi-Fi might do it as well. But what they did is they gave the information of those signal returns, and what they said is they gave that information to AI, right? And they said, right, can you predict from this information where the people are in that house? And it did it. It absolutely did it. It's crazy. So your Wi-Fi router tells people from the signals from your Wi-Fi router where people are in the house. Band again is saying Wi-Fi is a radar that watches you move about. Wi-Fi was invented by a movie actress during the Second World War. Yes, it was. And they didn't take her seriously, did they? They didn't take her seriously. Right. James is saying, Holly, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I've listened to British members of Parliament who are convinced they were abducted multiple times. It's very common. And Ghouls and Goblins is saying flock cameras everywhere, being able to do facial recognition and track your presence. Right, listen, let me give you guys a quick update if I can. I don't think I'm going to have time to give you a full update on the Middle East. The Middle East getting worse, right? In the past 24 hours, the war between the United States, Israel, and Iran has taken a more troubling turn. Donald Trump, obviously, as you know, yesterday addressed the United States nation, and they said they're very close. It's going to be 3 more weeks or whatever. They have now intensified the strikes. They've intensified strikes on the Middle East. And it doesn't look like things are getting any better anytime soon. I'm just going to jump onto Al Jazeera now and see if I can. Right. US military spending has got to continue. Right. Trump. Okay. So from 30 minutes ago, so while I was streaming, Trump says others, not the United States, need to secure the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, we've spoken about that. The IRGC claims an attack on the Oracle data center in Dubai. UN experts condemn the killing of Lebanese journalists, urge accountability for Israel's actions. So there's no accountability in war, guys. There isn't. There's no accountability in war. It just doesn't happen. Iran's foreign minister says US strikes on infrastructure are a sign of moral collapse. And the the United Nations warns of dangerous signs amid fragile Lebanon situation and escalating conflicts. Yemeni's Houthis claim missile strikes on Israeli targets. Right. Okay. So yeah, the war in the Middle East, guys. This is your update on the war in the Middle East, right? It's continuing to escalate. It ain't going. It's not calming down, and even when it does calm down, it's going to take years to rebuild. All right, that's your update on the Middle East for now, guys. Okay, the crux of this live stream has been the warning on the UK fuel run out date. We get in the United Kingdom our last fuel tanker on the between the 5th and the 15th of April this year. So like days that's coming, and then there ain't no more, guys. This Clapham crisis, this what they call in like a meetup or something, where youths of which looks to me predominantly black backgrounds turn up and just rob places. Now my prediction of where that is going is when there's no more fuel, there's nobody coming out to stop people. There's nobody coming out to stop people, guys. Okay, nobody coming out to stop people because the police won't be able to come out. They won't be able to get any diesel in their vehicles, and they won't be able to go out. So those things are just going to get worse. Now, I believe that's a sign of things to come. The crisis in the Middle East is just getting worse, and very soon, potentially this weekend, maybe even in the next couple of hours, I think we're going to see something happen in the Middle East, guys. Now, I don't know what it is. I may be wrong, but that's what I think is coming. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will bid you good evening. I'll bid you good night, whatever time of day it is. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10 in the morning. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, keep your tanks topped up. Keep your tanks topped up, guys, because fuel is running out and it's only getting worse. Anyway, guys, I'll see you later.